This is WCPO 9 News.
Government shutdown averted. Thanks for joining us this Sunday night at 11. I'm Kristen Swilley. COVID-19 cases across Ohio continue to rise. There are now nearly 45,000 positive cases and nearly 3,000 people have died. That's more than 500 new cases in the last 24 hours. Did you travel for the Christmas holiday? The TSA says more than 600,000 people passed through airports across the country yesterday. Well, you might be dreaming about the next time you can travel safely or travel and not feel guilty about it. Some experts believe in order to do that and other activities we miss, we might need a vaccine passport. Neighbors in Over the Rhine are working to transform a small section of woods that they say is heavily impacted by drug addiction. As WCPO 9 News reporter Josh Bazan explains, the small group of volunteers is determined to help improve their own backyards. Due to the pandemic, many states expanded mail-in and absentee voting, which contributed to record voter turnout, but it's not guaranteed those measures will remain in place for future elections. Sherry, this weekend started exactly how I like it. I like it hot and dry, though, and then it took that real rainy turn. Didn't like it. It was the final day of the 33rd annual Juneteenth festival. As you just heard, it happened mostly virtually because of the coronavirus, but organizers did not let that slow them down. The Christmas gifts have been opened, but are you satisfied with them? Still ahead, how retailers are working to make it safer for you to make returns. We begin with breaking news out of Illinois tonight. That's where police say 3 people are dead and at least 3 others injured after a person opened fire at random inside a bowling alley in Rockford. Officers say a person of interest has been taken into custody. At least 2 teenagers are among those shot, according to police. We'll continue to follow this developing story. Thanks for joining us this Saturday night at 11. I'm Kristen Swilley. Tonight, the fate of the $900 billion stimulus package is in the hands of President Donald Trump. The president is spending the Christmas holiday at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida, where the bill was flown today. He has been critical of the bill, calling it a, quote, disgrace. It includes aid for struggling Americans and $1.4 trillion in government funding. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are urging him to sign it. To our coronavirus coverage now, nearly 2 million Americans have received their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. That's according to the CDC's COVID data tracker. Officials say that number could be even higher as doses distributed appear to be outpacing doses administered. That's attributed to lags in data reporting. As of this morning, more than 9.5 million vaccine doses have been distributed. That includes doses for both Pfizer's and Moderna's product. And doses of Pfizer's vaccine are being rolled out across much of Europe. The first shipments arrived across 27 countries in the European Union late last night and into today. Germany, Hungary, and Slovakia have already begun administering the first doses. Italy, one of the hardest hit countries at the beginning of the pandemic, plans to begin its vaccination process as early as tomorrow. The same is expected for Spain and Ireland, among others. The Ohio Department of Health's vaccination dashboard shows that more than 50,000 Ohioans have received their first dose. That number has more than doubled since the figure posted on Christmas Eve. The current population of vaccinated Ohioans is just 0.43%. Both Pfizer and Moderna's vaccines require a second dose. Also in Ohio, the state health department reported coronavirus numbers reflecting data from yesterday and today. Over the course of both days, just over 11,000 cases were reported. In the same time frame, 20 Ohioans died from the virus. It's not clear how the data is divided between Christmas and today. The FBI is now investigating the death of Breonna Taylor to, in their words, make sure the investigation is done in a fair and thorough manner. The Kentucky EMT was killed after she was shot 8 times in March when police entered her apartment to serve a search warrant for drugs. None of the plainclothes officers wore body cameras on the night of the shooting, but officers say they did announce themselves. Police later said they found no drugs, and the suspect they were looking for had been arrested hours before they entered Taylor's apartment. It was a very warm and sort of sunny Sunday, but how long is it gonna stick around? We go over to Raven Richard right now for the answer. Raven, what a beautiful Sunday in December.
It's a little bit of a roller coaster. We will warm up on Wednesday, then we start to drop back down. We're back to average, near average as we approach next weekend. But yeah, so New Year's Eve though, going to be a little bit on the rainy side, but hey, at least it won't be too cold out there.
All right, thank you, Raven. Speaking of roller coasters, still to come, a big win for the Bengals today, and a hometown product played a big part in how it ended. Plus, another hometown kid receives a huge statewide honor. Caleb is in next with sports.